Hi, I'm Kelsey, founder of Cardlife Technologies. We are a Kenyan startup building practical technologies for our complex African markets. And let's jump right into some of the products that we have. Today, we will be looking at our timetable scheduling system, which is an education and a general scheduling system that helps in automating the timetable making process that would ideally be done manually. Let's jump right in. So, the timetable scheduling system is essentially an intelligent scheduling system that gets different aspects of data like lectures, subjects, course units, rooms, programs, and gets all this complex data and then automatically creates a timetable that is based off your different rules and regulations that you have in your different institutes. The data that we have is from Inspect University, which is a university in Uganda, and it follows the constraints or the rules that can be customized when you purchase the system. As you can see on our dashboard, we have total number of lecturers, which is 24. These are the active lectures that are within the system. We have subjects, so this would ideally be a course unit, 73, total number of rooms within the university or school, we have 37, and then programs that are offered, we have 12, and then we have one timetable generated. Let's jump right into how you can add lectures, subjects, rooms, programs, and then generate a timetable. Um, Going into our lectures section, how you can add a lecturer. As you can see, we already have some lecturers data. The system takes the lecturer's name or the teacher's name, the faculty they're in, the role, are they part-time, they're full-time, are they dean, the specialization or subject groups. These are the units they could teach, and the availability, if they're part-time, when are they available, if they're full-time, they're always available, and the total number of sessions they can teach per day, and the maximum number of hours they should be able to teach. This is all data that can be input. So, for example, let's say add a lecturer. You could come and say input in lecturer ID, uh, the lecturer's name, let's say Jane Doe, the faculty, and then computing, IT, or business, or health, the different types of faculties that your institution has. So let's say computing, the role, are they full time, part time, faculty head? So if the faculty head, it means they're always in the school. Full time, they're always in the school. But if they're part time, for example, you have to come and select the number of sessions they can have per day. So let's say maybe one or two. The maximum hours per week, let's say you can have about 8 hours per week. The specialization group, what they teach, so let's say soft skills development, and you could add it's a multiple select, so let's say artificial intelligence too, and then the availability, because they are part-time, you have to come and select the days they are available. So let's say Monday, and then the time they say they're available. So Monday 11 to 1, and maybe 4 to 6, and let's say Wednesday 11 to 9 to 11, and maybe 6 to 8. It depends on what the lecturer tells you, but all these are customizable, and then you just add a lecturer. Um, so it tells me lecturer ID already exists because lecturer 001 is already there. So this simply means you must give unique IDs. So for lecturer IDs, you could probably use your employee ID numbers that are there. So that's maybe lecturer 51, and we add our lecturer. So our lecturer has been added. So if we went down to lecture 51, who is gender. You could see they are the Faculty of Computing, they're part-time lecturer, and they teach soft skills, and they're available on Monday for 3 sessions and Wednesday. Like we had essentially added them, you could edit the data and all that. So yeah, this is how you add in your lecturers. Let's jump right into how you could add subjects. So subjects could ideally be your course units, or the different units that are offered to different programs. So BIT, computer science, all those are programs, but all those programs have units that are offered to them. So, for example, programming in C, soft skills development. The adding is simple, similar to how we added lecturers. You just come and fill in this form, and then you just add a subject. You could edit an existing subject, for example, let's say fundamentals of computer and office application. You could change the number of hours it should be taught per week, the credit units, the room type it should be offered in, the programs that gets to have this, the semester maybe, the term, and all that. Let's jump into adding rooms. So, adding rooms, these are the number of rooms and the different specializations that the rooms have. For example, let's say room 0104, it's a laboratory, it has a capacity of 16 people, and it's used for ICT programming and network security. So, meaning when generating a timetable, this room cannot be assigned, let's say, to students of, let's say, medicine and surgeries, because it's a room specifically for ICT, programming, and network security. Or it couldn't be, the room can't be assigned a capacity that it cannot sit. So, for example, if the unit or if the group that is to be that studies or to use this room is above 16 people, then it can't assign it to that room because it's above its seating capacity. Adding it is similar to how we added our lectures and subjects. You just come and put the room number, which would ideally be your room ID, the capacity, how many people it sits, the room types, the theory, a laboratory, specialization, what is it specifically for, multimedia, network security, ICT, or health, all that, and is it available or not available, and then you just add the room. Um, let's go into adding programs. So programs, these are simply the courses that you offer within your institution, could be university or high school or an institute generally. Um, you could come and add in a new program, a program ID, the bunch. These are all fields that could be customizable. So, for your case study, when you purchase the system, you could have different fields, but specifically, these were fields that were done for Inspect University. So you could come add in the program name, the semester, the student size. So there's a number of students that are within that program and all that. So for number of students, these are fields that could be editable. For example, let's say this course, this program, bachelor's of applied at information technology. In semester two, there are 31 students. So maybe when we move to like semester three, or in other terms, semester three would be year two, semester one. The number of students drops to like 30. You'd have to essentially come and edit. Just click on edit and edit the number of students so that the system it could intelligently know how to assign that specific group. And then we the system uses specifically for Inspect University. And I think other institutions it uses something called subject groups. So subject groups are essentially all the course units there, but now grouped. So, for example, course units like computer organization and architecture. This is a course unit that is shared by students of Bachelors of Information Technology and students of Bachelors of Computer Science. So they're essentially shared course units that would ideally be taught as one session instead of teaching them as different sessions. This is done to minimize resources, so minimize workload for lecturers, and maybe uh, minimize the number of lecturers that your institution could probably have. And these are added similar to how we added all the other lecturers' rooms and subjects. So you just can't put in a group ID and put in a group name. So, for example, programming in C, you put a description. Let's say this group represents programming in C, subject taught across different programs, and then you come and add the different uh, subject codes or course unit codes. So, which is programming in C for BCS, maybe programming in C for BCS2, practical programming in C for BIT. You add all the different course units, and then like we have here, it's offered uh, by BIT and BCS, and then you just update or you just add it. So how the system works is the system will use specifically these subject groups to do the scheduling, even if a unit is taught or is offered by a single course. You'd ideally still need to add this. And this is all data that could be exported in. So when you purchase a system, you could organize the data and then just export it in instead of import it in instead of manually inputting all this. And you just come and click import, and then you'd have all this. Yeah, and then we move to which is the main essential part, which is generating a timetable. Currently, we have a timetable for term one. We could see how the timetable is, but before we see it, could see the timetable generation process. So you come and click generate a new timetable and you select. So because it's for INSPAT, it does a term-based system, or for institution, could be semester, could be term, it doesn't matter. You select the time you want the timetable to be generated, and then you click generate, and then it will generate in the background as the system is still running. For timetable for term one that we have currently, you can see we have 51 sessions and we have 30 conflicts. So these are conflicts the system fell into when it was generating the timetable. They may be critical or not really critical. It will definitely explain to you. But we do have a timetable, so the output would be something like this, which is a full timetable of the entire school. We have color codes here, and all this data can be exported into an Excel sheet. Or you could come and filter. So let's say we just want a timetable for Bachelors of Business Administration, and we want one for semester one students. So this would give you a timetable specifically for business administration and for semester one students. And you could export this data into an Excel sheet. So you just come to export Excel, and then you just have to download this, and the data would ideally appear easily. Um, so for the conflicts, when a timetable is done, you just have to come to conflicts and it will show you how many conflicts. So it says 30 conflicts, zero of them is critical and zero is resolved yet. And then you see the different conflicts that it's fell into when it was generating a timetable and the descriptions. So, for example, conflict number one is course incomplete, web and database security has only one session, yet the system expects three sessions. It was offered by this program, and suggested fixes ensure required sessions are scheduled. So this is, you can adjust this when you export in your your Excel or your output, or you can just manually adjust it within the system and then regenerate a timetable. But yeah, so these are all conflicts, and then we have report section, so you can get to know lecturers workload or room workload. So for example, for this timetable, could generate a time report for both uh, lecturers or rooms only. So let's say both, and then generate, we could see lecturers workload, we see all the lecturers that we have and the number of sessions they have per day. So let's say James Kawiki has 4 sessions on Monday, 4 on Wednesday, zero on Friday. So you get to see how many sessions each lecturer has, and then for you room utilization, you get to see how the rooms are being used. So essentially, this is your timetable scheduling system. It's a system that could be uh, customizable for different institutions based on the rules, but also customizable for different organizations. So let's say within an industry, a warehouse, how you're assigning people different duties, assigning in the health industry, assigning doctors, assigning. Generally, it could be customizable into our scheduling system. So yeah.